यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयं यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविधे नमः। So I think we missed a few classes, couple of classes at least. So we are discussing a new text or new section called Mati Vilapana Prakaranam. So Mati itself, I think I summarized the last, but I'll just go through just to give some clarity as well. So the word Mati is mind. So, and Vilapanam is the resolution of the mind. So very important is to understand that the mind cannot be dissolved, it has to be resolved. So dissolution is something not possible because there is nothing created. So it's already existing product. So the existing product has to be resolved into the best possible source, which is the consciousness. So this Vilapanam, this particular Prakaranam is an interesting way the Acharya is presented. It appears that in one of the texts, one of the commentaries, Adi Shankara has written, he was sitting under a tree. Just as Adi Shankara is always under the tree with his Shishyas, and he saw people coming and doing activities, very busy, running around, coming to him for advice, consultation, from anything to anything. And he could understand that all these people were suffering due to something or the other, and they were not very clear about their priorities. So instead of writing a traditional text or traditional way, he thought that why don't we write in a different manner. So he wrote this particular section in a different manner, which is not found in any other text. So the dialogue is actually between two people who are within one's own self. So there is no third person involved. Like in yesterday's class also, when we had a look at the Upanishad class, where we saw that the first way of understanding this, is meditation, is to have the Saguna Brahma Upasana, which is outside the object, outside our own things. But we cannot always dwell upon an object which is fleeting all the time. So one has to come from the external objects, the source of the object itself. So the source of the object here is the mind. So the mind is the one which is capable of illuminating the thoughts, and the thoughts are nothing but a manifestation of the object itself. So any thought which is coming has to have an object associated with it, correct? It can be anything. Any thought can be anything. So any thought will always be connected to an object, and the thought and the object are non-separated. They cannot be saying that a thought is different, object is different. The thought always comes first, and immediately simultaneously the object also appears immediately together. So how do we separate this? When the joining is such a manner that it is actually woven together, right? It's difficult to separate. That is why one has to go back, understand what is the cause of the occurrence of the thought itself, why it is coming like this. And here also the Acharya discusses the Mati or the Buddhi, saying that you are involved, or the mind is involved, you're in your own world. So the mind has its own world, Prapancha. So it is Anatma Prapancha. So the mind is always involved in Mithya Prapancha. And always it's busy in activities or objects which are outside of its own self. It can also be internal to its own self also. Example, pain, happiness, sadness, sorrow, dukkham, sukham, ragadveshas. All of them are what also objects of knowledge. Because when you feel you are happy, it is an object of knowledge. When you feel you're sad, object of knowledge. When you feel pain, object of knowledge. But these are internal to you, not external to the object, correct? So the mind can connect itself to the internal object, also to the external object. Correct? So the internal object also is vritti, external also object is also vritti. Both are thoughts, but thoughts reflect both inner thought and outside thought, correct? So here he is not interested in outside thoughts because he assumes that by this time the student would have understood how to resolve the objects outside, and now he is actually focusing on the inside. So here the discussion is happening between the consciousness, the Sakshi, and the mind, where the Sakshi distance itself saying that I'm not part of anything. I am not connected with anything what you do. So you may be busy in your own world, you may be busy doing things, etc. But I do not have anything to do with what you are doing because I am from a different world. You are in our different world. So two things cannot come together. See, there cannot be two parallel realities, correct? So mind is actually mithya reality, mithya prapancha. And consciousness of the Atma is satya prapancha. Two things cannot come together. They cannot exist, coexist together. Correct? So one has to be satyam. So one has to be resolved into something. And satyam being the truth, satyam cannot go anywhere. So the only choice is for the mind to be resolved in the consciousness. This is what is the essence of the topic here. And the dialogue happens to be that the Sakshi tells this, then the mind says this, no, how can you be nirvishesha? How can you be so non-committal and distanced when we are all connected together? There's a possibility that there will be somewhere the connection there and somewhere you will feel affected. So the Atma clearly says, no, I do not have anything to do with what you are doing. And because of your association with me, which is natural, you are actually spreading wrong information about myself. You are actually making me the sufferer. You are thinking that I am the person who actually doing everything for you, but in reality, I am not doing anything at all. I am only giving you the power. That's all it is. The power, you can use it the way you want to use it, correct? So somebody has got extraordinary power, he is given that power. So then the power can be used by the person for anything. He can use for Loka Sangraha or for Loka Nasha also, correct? But what has been done there, this I do not have anything to do with anything more. That's the essence of the topic. So we saw in the first verse, we'll just read through that. Chitiswarupe swata eva me matehe. Chitiswarupe swata eva me mate. Rasadi yogastava mohakaritaha. Rasadi yogastava mohakaritaha. Ato na kinchitva tava cheshtite name. Ato na kinchit tava cheshtite name. Phalam bhave sarva visheshahanataha. Chitiswarupe swata eva me mate. Rasadi yogastava mohakaritaha. Ato na kinchit tava cheshtite name. Phalam bhave sarva visheshahanataha. So the word he mate, so the word he mind, he said, I am consciousness, I am pure consciousness. Chitis swarupaha. So I am not any thought. I am not this, what you think. I am Chitis swarupa. I am pure consciousness, correct? And I am free from Tava rasa adi yogas tava moha karitaha. So it means what? Because of your enjoyment, because of your connection with all this rasam, all rasam means rupa, rasa, gandha, sparsha, all different experiences you have got, you have a natural affinity, or you like to enjoy these things. So which is a different area compared to what I am doing. It is like, karma yoga and jnana yoga. So karma yoga person is what? He's busy doing his own actions, and he's grahastha doing his daily activities, nitya karma, naimitya karma, everything he's doing. And he's busy in his own activities, living in a different world. Right? The jnana yoga is a person who's pursuing jnana. He's left karma behind. He has left all these activities behind. He has understood the fallacy of all the doing all the karmas, because all these karmas which are being done will not give him moksha, will not give him freedom. So the person who's operating in the environment is different to a sannyasi. Sannyasi is different from a karma yogi, correct? Karma yogi will eventually become sannyasi when the time comes. But he did not also become a sannyasi also. He can be a karma yogi for entire lifetime. He can just be like this. He did not choose sannyasa. But sannyasi is a person with a different lifestyle. Because in sannyasam, there is total surrender, total renunciation of all karmas. So when you have that philosophy, then in the wake of jnanam, all the karmas are removed. So all the papam, punyam, pleasure, pain, etc. are left behind, saying that this is part of the body, mind, sense complex, which is anatha prapancha. And the satya prapancha, the jnanam which is there, is this chit. So say yes, so chit is sarupa. So when the sannyasi talks about, when the jnani talks about, he talks about himself as chit is sarupa. I am pure consciousness. And I am this, which is different from all the manifestation of thoughts which are there. Right? And tava rasa adi yogaha. So moha karitaha. See, moha means what? All these pleasures which are there, you are doing activities. Right? Ataha. So na kinchit tava cheshchitenami. So whatever you are going after, see, tava cheshchita means what? Whatever you are going after. So whatever you are pursuing is different. I got nothing to do with this. I am free from all these things. I do not have anything to do with what you are pursuing in your world. So it's a very clear demarcation where the Atma says that you do whatever you want to do, and it is your world. And I'm not operating in your world. Right? Even though I am part of you, but still I am distinct. Correct? So distance between the Atma and the mind is very little. Correct? Hardly a distance. But still, I am distinct from you. I'm not the same as what you are. Right? So mena kinchit phalam bhavet. So even I'm not interested also in the phalam also. So when you go after any activity, you get phalam. You get results. And naturally, when you do an activity, you are supposed to get results, and you are interested in results, and you have to enjoy the results. So when you say that I'm not part of you, I'm not actually doing the activities, I'm not interested in any of these things, would you be interested in the results? You're not, because you're not in any way connected with anything. So you are just by yourself. Let the world do whatever they want to do. They will do good pujas, they will do nama karmas, they will do nama sankirtan, everything, whatever they do for their own enjoyment or their mental satisfaction, or for their some satisfaction they have. And the results they're getting is their enjoy. Right? If we are jnanis, and if a person is jnani and if a person doesn't get associated with that in that manner, then you are not interested also in results. Correct? What prasadam you are expecting? Because you are not even connected with anything at all. So he says, na kinchit phalam bhavet. So I am not interested also in phalam also. Then sarva vishesha apahanataha. So sarva vishesha means all I am actually free from. So vishesha apohana prakarana we saw before, right? So the same thing is to be used here. Same, all those example which have been given there. I am free from all sarva vishesha. There is nothing to lose for me. Therefore, I am not associated with anything. Therefore, I am free. Correct? This is what the first one says. Then second one, Vimuchya maya mayakadyatamiha. Vimuchya maya mayakadyatamiha. Prashanti maya hyasadhihitat sadha. Prashanti maya hyasadhihitat sadha. Aham param brahma sadha vimuktavat. Aham param brahma sadha vimuktavat. Tada chamekam dvayavarjitam yataha. Vimuchya maya mayakaryatamiha. Prashanti maya hyasadhihitat sadha. Aham param brahma sadha vimuktavat. Tada jamekam dvayavarjitam yataha. So, Maya Maya Karyatam Iha. So Iha means here. And here what? Maya Maya Karyatam. So everything is what is Maya here. So Maya, as you know, so to recollect in the other classes, Ya Maya Sa Maya. Ya Maya Sa Maya. Correct. So the word Maya itself is what? Ya, Ma, Ya, Sa Maya. It means what? The word Ya indicates that which is not. Okay. And that object, that Ya, and Ma means negation. That means which is not. That which is not. Sa Maya. So that Maya is that which is not. So it's the object which you see is actually not the truth. It is actually Maya. So it is actually because of the power of Maya. And Maya is a feminine gender word. Correct? And it's Shakti. So Maya itself doesn't have an existence of its own. So Maya belongs to the Brahman. It is the unmanaged power of Brahman. And whenever Brahman wants to manifest, it uses its power called Maya to project itself. And the world is projected. It's called Vikshipa Shakti and Avarana Shakti. So Vikshipa Shakti is the one which is the power of projection. And Avarana means covering. So Avaranam first happens before Vikshipa Shakti comes into existence. So traditionally it is taught as Vikshipa Shakti, Avarana Shakti. But generally Avaranam first happens. There is a covering or there is something hidden. Then only something gets revealed. Example, in the case of the Rajju Sarpaha also, first of all, the truth about the rope is concealed, correct? First concealment happens. How the truth about then you see the snake. So first of all, the truth is hidden, then the snake is seen in the rope. You do not see the snake in the rope first time because it is together. The concealment and the knowledge happens together simultaneously. You do not see the snake after a long time. Correct? The moment you, sometimes when you are sitting at home also, some object will just go through the shadow. Correct? And you will see that it's a movement there. Some bird or some insect is flying or some cockroach is flying because the eye can catch very quick things. And for a moment you think that is truth. There's something which is hovering around. But then when you open your eyes clearly and see for a long time, you know that there's nothing there. Right? So this Maya has got a capacity to hide things. And Maya is something which is Anadi, which is got no beginning. Because just as Brahman is Anadi, Maya is also Anadi. It has got no beginning. But Maya can be ended. See, the Maya can be ended by Jnanam. Understanding what Maya is, you can resolve the avidya. So Maya is what is called avidya. Mula avidya is called Maya. So total ignorance is called Maya. And why we say here, because the Maya actually can create problems even for the most accomplished scholar of Vedanta also. A person who studied for many, many years, has studied all the texts, etc., and is very conversant. It can also affect the person to some extent if he is not careful. So, because the power is like this. So, that is why you have to resolve Maya for good. You cannot leave anything halfway. You cannot say that, it's okay, I can manage. No. You have to resolve for good, because that small thing can come back and can grow bigger. So you have to resolve everything first with Maya. Says here. So Vimuchya Maya, Maya Karyatam Iha means what this, all this here, activities which has or here, they have Maya as an origin. Right? So starting from Maya as the Karanam. So the Karanam is the Maya. So Maya Karyatam and Mithya. So this is Mithya also. Right? So what we should do, Vimuchyatam, so we should get free, correct? So having given up. So Vimuchya means having given up this thought, correct? So when you give up the thought that, oh, all this which I'm seeing is all only Mithya Prapancha, it is not real. It is as though real but not absolutely real. Then what do? You relax. Just as when you see the snake, your heart pounds, correct? Your heart is pounding, your heart is raising up, and then you get agitated, apprehensive, you're worried, palpitation comes, anything. Forget about a snake. Anything which you do not like or anything which you're afraid of it, you feel that heart pumping up and you feel very agitated, very sort of, cornered. But when you realize, having given up the thought that this is actually not the truth, what do? You get immediate relaxation, correct? You relax immediately. Your heart from that point, you come down to normal, start heart beating normally. Like a dream also, you can see. In the dream state also, sometimes, I have got experience sometimes that, sometimes your heart is pounding very fast. You don't know why it is. Because there could be something, connection, something which is there, which is making your mind rise fast. Your mind actually is racing very fast. Thoughts are running like, spinning. Like the movie screens are there, right? So they keep fast, is going along. So when the objects are going along, your mind also is actually trying to assimilate things. So that actually sends signals to the body itself. When you start sweating, you start, getting restless. So your heart starts to pump more blood also. You'll feel that. Suddenly when you wake up and then you drink some water and then you settle down, after that it starts to normal. Same thing talks about here. So, Vimuchya, Maya Karyatamya, Prashantim Ayahi. So, Prashantim Ayahi. So, Prashanti means what? Relaxation. So, Ayahi means what? May you attain. So, may you attain relaxation. So, Ayahi means may you attain relaxation. And relaxation can be had only when you have Vimuchya Maya Karyatam. Only when you remove the Maya Prapanchaha or the Mithyatvam of the entire thing, the fallacy of everything, you will be able to be free. Till such time, you will not be free. Any amount of tapas you do, any amount of karma you do, any amount of rituals you do, study, japam, tapas, meditation will not free you from this. Only freedom will happen is in the wake of all these things, understanding that this is Mithya Prapancha. It is not going to give me permanent sukha. Right. That's why, in the other class, which I'm conducting on the Wednesday class, Jiva Yatra class, there are also the same thing talked about. So, Nityananda Sukham Suvidam Sumivaram Paramam Padam. So, every person is actually asking for happiness. They want to be in a state of happiness all the time. But the thing is, they want happiness but they do not know how to seek happiness because they're searching for the wrong place. So somebody is asking, there's somebody asks a question, I don't want to be happy. See, if somebody asks a question to us, what will you say? Do you want to be happy or not? You say, I want to be happy. Always. There's no second thought about it. And do you want to be permanently happy? Yes, I'm just permanently happy. We do not want any living person here. Do not want a situation where you want to be temporarily happy. So 6 months in a year, I'll be happy. 6 months over here, I'm okay, I manage. You always prefer for 12 months of happiness. 24/7, accepting sleep. Sleep also you need happiness because sleep also can be troubling for you. Dream varum. Tukam varade. Prachanala varum. So you pray for sleep also. There also sleep. One guy gets up and says that I do not want to be happy. I want to be sad. So the teacher says, I will bless you happiness and sadness also. Because in sadness also the person is seeking happiness only. Because ultimately what is seeking? He wanting to be sad because he is resorting to drinks, he is resorting to drugs, other activities. To what? To forget the pain. Right? To forget this dukkam. So by forgetting dukkam, what is seek for happiness? So understanding that all these things is mithya is what is talked about here also. Right? So vimuchya, maya maya karyatam. Because there is no choice for you. There is no choice for any of us other than seeking happiness. And this is the only purpose, the only way of doing this. Right? So Prashanti Mayahi. So the Sakshi says that you give up all these things. Why are you chasing in all these things? Why are you running around all these things? And you're getting, embroiled in so many different pleasures, and then you go through the pain, and then you blame me for all these things. Says, I have got nothing to do with this. So you leave all these things and you be quiet. Whole mind, you be quiet. It says you develop the habit of being quiet, and in the quietness you will see prashantim ayahi. So you will relax. So when the mind is quiet, you relax. When the mind is agitated, you are not relaxed. So prashantim ayahi. Then asat hi hitat sadaha. See, sadi hitat sada mean asat hi hitat sada. That's how we should read. So asat means what? This is asat word. This is a temptations, or this is actually a mithyatvam. This is not a truth. And mithya vastu. So you are craving for all false objects or all the objects which are not the truth. Therefore, you are not happy. Right? And sadha means what? Always. You are always searching for this happiness in an objective world, mithyatvam world, which is not going to give you happiness. So you leave those things. Vimuchyata. So the example given here also here is, when we go to the movie, sometimes we go to the movie or we pay some money for, first day, first show movies, etc. So we go to the theater there, some Rajinikanth movie is there and people are agitated, excited. So we go there. And you are actually paying for what? You are actually paying for happiness there, correct? You are paying for the projection, correct? So projection means what? What is happening there is you are interested, correct? But you're not paying for the screen, correct? The screen is actually fixed. You're not interested. If somebody tells you that I'll pay you $100 to me, you come to the empty theater. There's nothing there. Would you go? You will not go. You are going there mainly because you're paying $100 as first day, first show, and there is a Rajinikanth movie coming there, and the images are there, and you're enjoying that particular projection, correct? But what do we see is, we see the projection, but we do not see the screen. So the screen is being not seen, because even also, when you go to a dance, this is a very old Vedantic example also. When you go to the theater, you come late, the show has started, and then the person with the torchlight, he says, okay, you seat number sir, Q7, So you just you just go and sit there, just sit there, and then now you're watching these things. So in the stage, the characters are dancing. Somebody's expression is there, going along, everything is there. Now the characters is what attracts you, correct? You are never interested to see how the characters represent them. I mean, what are the characters, source of the characters? Because the characters are seen only because there's light. Without the light, there cannot be a character. You can't see the character. Even though they're dancing there also, you'll not be able to see them. So what do we see? We only see the projection. We do not see the source of the projection itself. Right? So we see the projection, we see the objects, we do not see the light itself. So what the teacher tells you is that first you go after the objects, you enjoy everything, understand that it is actually all mithyatvam, then you'll understand that this is actually not the truth, then you focus on be steady. Right? So vimuchya, maya maya karyatamiha. So all this is all maya, all this is all magic only, and after that is all over, show is over, what? You come back. Right? And you either come back with happiness or headache, depending on how the show is. So he says, you don't get into this kind of a problem. Why do you want to go there and enjoy all these things and get into this problem? And then you come and blame me for all of them. He says, you be free from this. This is what he's talking. So, muchya maya maya karyatamiha prashanti maya hi asat hi itat sadaha. So always you are in the asat world. So you, from the asat world, you have to come into the truth world. That means all the three experience. That is in waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. You have to have prashantim. You should be calm. So it doesn't mean that you're longing only for sleep. See, even when you're happy, waking state also, right now, you should be happy. You must be relaxed. You must not be under tension. Oh my God, I don't understand anything. Class only. Nothing. Don't worry about it. Don't understand, doesn't matter, because it is not the end of the world. Other things will be there. So, or when you are running late also, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Do not get too perturbed about it, because it is, you got to relax first, the mind. Then only you will be able to focus. If your mind is already working up too many things, right? Then you will not be able to focus, because that's what it says here, that you just let go. Be relaxed. Once you let go of all these things, you find relaxation in all the three states of experience. The waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. Also, you'll find same experience. Right? Then he says, Aham Param Brahma. So therefore, what? The first line talks about the Sakshi telling the mind that you are this, you are this, you are in that world. And because of you are operating in that world, you are suffering. But I do not have a suffering like this. Why? Because Aham Param Brahma. So I am the Brahman. And Sada Vimuktavat. I'm always free from everything. So Vimuchya means you are trying for freedom. You want to be free, you are making effort to be free. But I am always free. I do not make an effort to be free, because freedom or happiness is my nature. Moksham is not an object to be attained. Moksham is not a karyam to be done, action to be done. Moksham is the swarupam of one's own self. So, vimuktavat, right? So, vimukta means I am free. Sada vimuktavat. I am always liberated, ever liberated. I don't have any bondage. Tata ajam. So, tata ajam means what? Therefore, I am ajam. I do not. I'm free from all these modifications. So ajaha means what? Unborn. So tata, therefore I am ajam and free from shad vikaraha. What is shad vikaraha? Asti, jayate, vardate, viparinamate, apikshate, pranashyati. So there are 6 modifications. Shad vikaraha. So every object here goes through 6 vikarams. That is, first of all, it comes into existence. Asti. I mean, this exists. Something exists there. And from exist, it comes into existence. Correct? So you cannot produce something out of nothing. So there has to be something there. So there is something already there. So it's just a state of experience. Something is there. From the state, asti jayate. So that means comes into existence. Then from the born, it actually goes into vardhate. It actually increases. So it grows. Then after growing for a long time, then it undergoes changes, because from balyaha, kauma, jara. Right? So 4 different stages are there. So growth is happening in all the 4 stages. So you become a balyaha. So from child, jayate, you become balya. Then you become kaumara, teenager. Then yavvanam. So you become youth, and semi-youth you can say. Then jara, you become an old person. So all these are part of the parinimate, right? After that, what happens? Apikshate. So it comes down. So just as you had a growth and you kept growing, now you start to fall. So from jara, you again become very old jara, become completely vriddha shariraha. Vriddha means a very old person. Right? And finally, what? Pranashyati. So finally, it departs, it leaves. So anything in this world, anything in this object, including the physical body, including the mind also, has got this capacity, correct? So mind also has got its own ups and downs. You cannot say that my mind is always sharp like this. It is not. I definitely, when I was young, or when you're all young, our mind was very sharp. We could grasp just like that. Now it takes a lot of time to read, many times assimilate, and then to understand, because the mind itself is actually a matter, and any matter which is there is subject to these 6 modifications, shad vikaraha. Okay. That's why it says tata ajam. So therefore I am ajam. I am ekam. So I am also one. I do not have anything called the second thing other than me. I am ekam. That means there are no Vedas. There is no other differences. There is no Swagata Vedaha, Sajati Vedaha, Vijati Vedaha. Hope you remember all these things, right? I keep telling all these things. See, Swagata Veda, Sajati Veda, Vijati Veda. All the 3 differences are there.
Sort of, maybe.
So these things come because whenever ekam comes, these things will come. Ajam means I am unborn. Unborn means what? If you're unborn and you do not get affected by any of these changes. I'm neither old nor young, nor I have death, nor I have any growth. I'm always the same person. Right? That's what's the meaning of it. So that means I do not get affected by whatever things are happening there. So the physical body gets old, so be it. I'm not able to remember things. I got dementia, so be it. You're not affected by it because it is part of the process. It is going to happen. Everybody will have the same situation one day or the other. When you cannot remember things. ஒரு காலத்துல நல்லா ஞாபகம் இருந்து சார் எல்லாம் மறந்து போயிடுது அப்படிமா ஒண்ணுமே ஞாபகம் இருக்க மாட்டேங்கிறது சார் ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கு உண்மையா பண்ண முடியல. But in Jnanam and understand, so this is quite common. He said, so what? There was a time I remembered things. There's a time I don't remember things. Correct? So Jnanam apohanancha. Correct? So I am present in Jnanam and apohanam also. Bhagavad Gita, you see, right? This, he says that. Mata smriti jnanam apohanancha. So mataha smriti jnanam apohanam means what? In remembrance, in not remembering things, and jnanam and apohanam. Also knowledge and not having ignorance also. All the 4 I am present there. So dvaya varjitam. Ekam, then dvaya varjitam. So I am free from all these other bhedas. So dvayam. So there is no 2 things. Varjitam. Therefore, yatha, therefore, bhu buddhi, do not run, stay calm. So, one must not mistake this saying that there are many atmas. So, there are several atmas in all of us. So, you cannot say there is an atma in Suresh, atma in me, and Subbu and Jaishankar also. There are not 4 or 5 atmas. There's only one atma. but it appears to be 5 because of the connection of the consciousness of the mind. So we appear to be 5 different things. But in reality, we should be able to accept this as only one. And the manifestation of the Atma through the mind is what we are. Right? So the mind, see, Vedanta operates in the source of the thought. Science operates in the source of the experience. So they are operating in the objective world, and the Vedanta actually operates in a different level where it operates source of the thought itself. Right? So thought itself is the object of experience. And science always tries to work within that sphere only. It cannot go beyond this, because for going to understand thought, it needs different type of knowledge. And you cannot prove, because it is what it is. Science wants proof. So now they are coming to this understanding. Big Bang theory, etc. They are explaining now. They are saying, oh, there was something there. It's a sound form was there. They are accepting this thing called consciousness. 30 years ago, 20 years ago, it's a bit of what consciousness? But rubbish, pure consciousness, nothing like this. Everything is all this world. So now they're discovering more stars, more galaxies, etc. Vedanta says that what? So what? They're already there. You're discovering something new today. We already knew they are already there, because what is there only is coming out. So we are not interested in finding out new things. We already know it is there. So another example, see, another word for Maya is, which is given not in the given text, is Mayayam Aya is another word. So Mayayam Aya means what? You are telling Maya to go back to its origin. Ayanam means destination. And Mayayam Aya. So if you look at the verse here, it says Mayayam, correct? So you can say Mayayam Aya. That means, hey Maya, you go back to your original destination. What is destination? It is that your destination is in Brahman, in consciousness. It is not actually separate. So you resolve Nityatvam also in consciousness. Just as the ornament which is appearing externally to you, its source is gold, correct? Even though ornament is different, but it is actually, it cannot have existence outside of the gold. So when you resolve the ornament in the gold, there's something called ornament anymore. It's only gold, correct? Same way here also, Maya also is resolved in consciousness, right? Another example which is given here also, it is not in your, the Bhashyam, it is there, Tikakara, is the water. You know, the water is actually created from fire, Agnir Apaha, correct? Vayur Agnir, Agnir Apaha, correct? Adya Prithvi, Prithivya Oshadayaha. So the source of the water is from the fire. And the water is dissolved in the fire itself. How? An example, a very crude example given is when you make dosa at home, right? So when you make dosa at home, what do? You heat the tawa, correct? The hot tawa is heated. Then only dosa can actually go inside, correct? But before you heat the tawa, and what people do, they sprinkle some water, right? They sprinkle water. If you look at restaurant also, big tawa is there. The hot tawa will just be fuming. And then he will take some water and sprinkle all over. So the moment the water is sprinkled, all the water bubbles, what does it do? It starts to bubble, then it just disappears, right? So in the wake of the hot knowledge, the water bubbles which are there also resolves. Same way here also, in the wake of the knowledge of the Brahman, the Maya, which is the power, which is the heat there, also gets resolved in Brahman. Okay. So a couple of examples just to give some clarity. Muchya Maya Mayakaryatamiha Prashanti Maya Hisadihita Sadha Aham Param Brahma Sadha Vimuktavat Tada Chamekam Dvayavarjitam Yataha. Is this clear? Okay. So now, in the next verse, So the Sakshi is telling the intellect, Buddhi, that you are this, I am this. And he gives examples to say how you should be free, how you should have prashanti. Now the intellect is asking a question, how you can be nirvishesha? So you are saying that you are not connected with me at all, but you are connected with me. Because I can see, I can connect with you. So how can you say that you're not connected? And whatever I am going through, how can you say that it is my own problem, not your problem? He already told that you are operating Maya Prapancha. Already told this. But somehow the mind thinks, no, how can this possible? There should be somebody, there should be something. See, even though I do not want happiness, I do not want anything at all, I am doing for my relative. I am doing for my relative or my brother and sister. They want happiness. I am doing this for them. See, so the Atma, the intellect is talking to the Atma saying that, see, I understand that you are saying that I am doing this, but I am doing this not for myself. I am doing for other person. That is, my brother is there, my sister is there, my friends are there, and I am helping the local people there to do something, building temples, structure, etc. How do you say that, I am not interested in results? It's a logical question, right? The mind interrogates. Atma says that even that also I'm not interested. Even that also is your own problem only. I got nothing to do with what you are doing or you're doing other people also. Because ultimately the benefit which you're doing for other people will be enjoyed by you. If you do good things for people, what do you say? Very nice person. We should take care of him. Our respect shawl poti odano, something will be there, correct? You cannot refuse. You cannot say this because they give out of love to you, they respect you for what you are. So you'll have to do that. So the intellect is asking an intellect question, saying that Atma says what? Whether you do for yourself or somebody else, I don't care. There's nothing, no problem. Because ultimately you should not tell me that one rule is for you, one rule other person. I got only one rule. That means what? Whatever you do with your mind, intellect and body means it's complex. For yourself, for other people, it is your own action. It is nothing to do with me. That's what it says in this verse. Sadha cha bhuteshu samosmi kevalaha. Sadha cha bhuteshu samosmi kevalaha. Yatha chakam sarvagamakshara shivam. Yatha chakam sarvagamakshara shivam. Yatha cha bhuteshu samosmi kevalaha. Yatha chakam sarvagamakshara shivam. Nirantaram nishkalam nishkalamakriyam param. Nirantaram nishkalamakriyam param. Tato namistiha phalam tavehitaihi. So, sadacha bhuteshu. So bhuteshu means what? All the living beings. Right? Sada bhuteshu. In all the living beings, I am always present. So the argument given by intellect is what? You are present in me and you saying that I don't belong to you. I hope accept it. So you disown me is fine. But how can you disown something which is part of me, but it is actually for somebody else? You have a problem with me doing something, I'm okay. I will not do that. But I'm not doing anything for myself. I'm doing for somebody else. So if I'm doing something else, why are you bothered? Will you not have any connection? Atma says that I do not have a connection. So sada bhuteshu aham sada sama asmi. See the word? See sadacha bhuteshu aham sama asmi kevalaha. So I am present in everybody as samam, as equal. Just as I am present in you, I am also present in them also. So you cannot say that, you are present in them and I'm only present in you. It is not like this. See, the argument people have is, I can accept myself as the Atma. Okay. Ana vandu avarku Atma irukana accept panna mudiyadhu because I do not know. I can't see the Atma, other person Atma. How can I see? Enakkulla consciousness irukku, I can understand. But I cannot accept you as the Atma because you are different. I can understand all my emotions, I can control everything, but I cannot understand your emotions and I cannot be responsible. I cannot own up something. That is why Samatha Buddhi is important. See, Samatha Buddhi, what it says, every person is one. Right? That means you see yourself in everybody, that means what? Samatha Buddhi is there. Samatha Buddhi kadayadu. If you are yourself happy with yourself, only with your own family, and when you go outside of your family, then you say, "All not different, sir. Ingala vera." English rule irukna. See, in our family we are all okay. Everybody will be following systematically everything. But when you go to other person, see, I don't know what they follow. So maybe they are different. No connection with them at all. What it says here is what? Sadacha Bhuteshu. Always I am present in all the living beings, whether you or everybody else. So I am present in everything as essence. Correct? And Samaha Asmi Kevalaha. So I am alone present there without manyness in anything. So I do not have anything called manyness. So I do not replicate myself saying that I am consciousness there, I am consciousness here, I am present as only one, but appearing as many. Just as one sun appearing as 1,000 reflections in a pot which is kept in the open. Correct? So one sun reflection as 1,000 pots kept in the open. So all these spots have got a part of the sun reflecting in there, correct? So can we say that there are 1,000 suns? They are not, because the one sun, Eko Vishnu Mahad Bhutam. So one Vishnu appearing as many. Same here also, that Aham Sada Samahasmi. Aham Sada Samahasmi, not Samosa Asmi. Okay. Samaha Asmi. Aham Sada Samaha Asmi, not Samosa Asmi. So chant together Samosmi or the Parma. See, Samosa Asmi, Samosa Asmi. So Aham Sadaha Samaha Asmi. Samosmi. So, and Kevalaha means I am present, I am only present in everybody of you as only one, not many. Correct? So the Sugata Beda, Sujati is not there. So I'm not saying that you're different, he's different, he's different. I'm only one. Right? Then Yatha, example of the Yatha cha Kham. Kham means what? Space. Okay. Kham. Sarvagam Aksharam Shivam. So space pervades everything, correct? You cannot say that it is my space. Can you say? You're not space served in. Space is actually because you are restricted by your own limitations. See, right now you have got your own house. So this is my space. But understanding is that your house is already in space. You are actually not building anything outside of space. You are already in space and you are building something inside space. How can you say that you are outside of space? You cannot, correct? Okay, getting the point. See, when you say that we are building something, you know, a private my space. Don't come into my space. Give me some space. They don't talk about very good talk. Give me some space. You already have a lot of place. Because you're already in space, you're operating in space, you're living in space, you're dying in space. So you are never non-separate from space. That's why it says Sarvagatam, correct? That which pervades everything is called Sarvagatam. See, Sarvagam, correct? Sarvagam, Aksharam, Shivam. That which is imperishable. So space cannot be destroyed. You can destroy the structure. You can rebuild the entire house. You can demolish the whole house. And you will say that demolished the house. You cannot say I demolished space. As anybody is told, any builder, I'll demolish this place and give you a new house. That's what I say, right? If you ask them, can you demolish space? I don't think I'm qualified. I can't do that because they are not certified to do that. They cannot do it also. So demolition happens in space, construction happens in space, living happens in space, everything is happening in space. So thereby what, even though houses are many, dwellings are many, but space is only one. Correct? Same thing talks about aham sada samaha asmi sada bhuteshu, always present in everything as one. Kevalam, there is no other person other than me. So it gives example of the space. So take example of the space. Do you see the space different from yourself? The space inside you, into a physical body, is non-separate from the space outside. Right? That is how you should understand Tattva Bodha lesson. Fundamental is Tattva Bodha. The space inside the physical body, the same representing outside. The fire inside the physical body, same as fire outside. Right? So all of them is the same thing. Pancha Bhutaha, because we are part of the 5 elements. We are not separate, non-separate from 5 elements. Okay. So, Sarvagam Aksharaha Shivam, that which is auspicious, Shivam, that which is Saguna. So, space is come means what? Saguna Brahma. Correct? So, you are worshipping the space, it is Saguna. Space also is finally resolved in Brahman, because space is not outside of Brahman. Thereby is called Shivam. So, Shivam means is called the Sagunam Brahma here. And so Yatha means just as space is Sarvagam Aksharam Shivam. In the same way, Sadacha Bhuteshu Samaha Asmi Kevalaha. Able to follow? Okay. I think it's a very simple verse, not difficult. Then he gives example of himself, of the Hakshi. I am what? I am Nirantaram. Correct? So Sarvagam is the first one, all pervading. Okay, these are all words of Vedanta. Sarvagam, all pervading. Aksharam, indestructible. Shivam, auspiciousness. Nirantaram means what? Eternal. Nirantaram, Nishkalam, partless. Nishkalam, Akriyam, actionless. Then Param, above everything, correct? Param, I am untouched by anything. Therefore, Tatha, Name Asti Iha. See, Name Stiha, Name Asti Iha means, therefore, I do not have anything here. No phalam is there for me. Name Asti Iha phalam means there is no benefit for me here because I am already pervading everywhere. I am already present in everything there. I am not actionless. I am partless. I am above everything. So why should I be interested in what you are doing? And why should I be interested in getting phalam also? Okay. So, Name Asti Iha Phalam, Tava Hitaihi. So, Tava Hitaihi, Tave Hitaihi means Tava Hitaihi means there is no benefit also received from me this. So, there is no benefit received, there is no phalam received, nor I am getting any benefit out of all these things. So, phalam means results. So, action when you do, you get results. And you get the benefit also means what? Some satisfaction. Right? So, I do not get any benefit from doing this or not doing this because I am actionless. And why he says because it is difficult for someone to accept a proposition that I am consciousness, but you are not consciousness. Okay, because you are different than me. That's why he says here the example of space. My space is this area, Cherrybrook. You are in Kings Langley, it is your space. So you're a different area. So what? The space itself is divided into areas, correct? But if you remove the whole area at all, if suppose somebody comes and says, oh, there is no Cherrybrook anymore, there's no Glen, there's no Kings Langley anymore, there's only one big area. And what do you roam on freely? So do you have any blockages? You do not have any blockages. People go anywhere where they want. So before this world was created, what is all only space was there. Later on, everything came into existence. Akashad Vayuhu, Vayu Ragni. Correct. Everything came into existence. Subtlest of this was space. correct? And surplus to the the grossest, then arithmetic existence. So the example given is space, that is surplus of all the creation, that which is ekam, sarvagatam, aksharam, shivam, nirantaram. Space does not go anywhere at all. We can go anywhere, we'll find space. We go by plane from here to India, space is waiting there for you, because you are taking off in space, you are traveling in space, you're getting down in space, you are living in space. So you cannot go anywhere. That's why I don't go anywhere. So I do not have any of these problems. What do you have? Right? Sadha cha bhuteshu samesmi kevalaha. Sadha chu bhuteshu samosmi kevalaha. Yata chakam sarvagamakshara shivam. Nirantaram nishkalamakriyam param tataha. Name astiha palam tavehitaihi. So I do not get any benefit, I do not get any phalam from this. So this is the answer given by the Atma, the question raised by the intellect, saying that I do not do anything for myself, I do for other people. He says, you are not doing anything for other people because I am also present in them also. So the same answer is given from the other person also. So the acceptance is that we are all consciousness, right? Appearing as different things due to the manifestation of the mind. Correct? And the mind itself is what is saying that you are not me. So when you remove the mind, where are all of us? All of us are only one. So cognitively only accept it. Correct? That's what is said here. Is it clear? Subbu?
Yeah, pretty clear, Shankar. Again, describing all the things. Definitions of Brahman, that's how it is, pretty clear.
Jaishankar, you're okay? Able to follow, right?
Yes.
Suresh, you're okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So we will see more of this in the next class. The next class talks about the Atma is telling the intellect. Now it's actually continuing the discussion where Atma is telling the intellect that I am this, and you are that. So he elaborates, he makes sure, he insists very clear that you are not me, you are that. So you are different and I'm different. Even though we are connected the birth together, I do not have anything to do with what you're doing. So it's very clearly said in the next verse. Okay. So we'll see that next class. Next class will be, as usual, we will go on Sunday, our usual time 2 o'clock, and then we'll continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Tatsat Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste. We'll see you all in some other class. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow I'll see you in the Bhagavad Gita class. Okay.
Thank you, Pranam. Shankar.
Harihi Om.